Hey, what's up everybody? Alf here with a little bit of a special treat for you. I'm gonna do some battles just for y'all here on YouTube. I'll be streaming later today, but figured I threw together 5 open Ultra League teams, all with slightly different takes on the meta. I haven't played any yesterday. I was feeling a little under the weather. Got my COVID shot on Sunday, which is very exciting, but unfortunately it kind of put me down in the dumps for a day. So I'm excited to finally get in and play. We're gonna play with these 5 different teams. I hope you enjoy these battles, something a little different, no chat to distract you, or also I'm sorry there's no chat to entertain you. You just have to deal with me. So we're gonna start with a team that I've been very comfortable with. I've played this team a lot, and we're just gonna see how this goes. All right, good luck to us. I've not played any Ultra League yet. Carolina is our first opponent this time around, and let's see what Carolina is working with. So we've got an Articuno lead into a Snorlax, so just a big old neutral slugfest here. Obviously, we want to make sure we get an Icy Wind in before they get their first charge move, or if we don't, we're sort of inclined to want to shield. That said, I really hate going behind shields with Articuno. Especially in neutral matchups, because it allows them to sort of make aggressive swaps and plays. So while this matchup is certainly better for you if you shield that first move, I also don't know that you can afford to, because it opens up lines for your opponent. So we're just going to sort of try and play this out as best we can here. And worst case scenario, we narrowly lose and we can sort of put together a farm down scenario. Ideally, we either come out of this up a shield, or we come out of this in a spot where, you know, we're loaded. I frequently will take scenarios with Articuno down and farm down at the end if it opens up. So in this case, for example, where they're going to get to another body slam and they're going to get there before we get to our Icy Wind. The downside here is that I believe I've clicked this Icy Wind. So I'm actually going to let this go. I don't like it, but because of that Icy Wind click, I don't feel comfortable doing anything there. So unfortunately, we've sort of found, Typhlosion is a really rough back Pokemon for us, although my gut is telling me right now that they don't have an Alolan Muck counter on their team. That their other Pokemon is something like a Tina or a Cress that really doesn't want to see Alolan Muck. The problem is all of this residual... It's a Gyarados. Okay, well that's actually not terrible against us. We're just never going to be able to beat that Typhlosion unless we can get all of the shields. Like literally every shield the game. Oh, that's unfortunate for us. We're still gonna have to play this out. Did we CMP there? Yeah, we did. If they just sort of take Typhlosion now with 2 shields, I just don't think there's much of a chance for us, which is what they're gonna do. They know that that back matchup is extremely bad. So we get this in. I don't know that there's a win condition for us here. Because we need both of these shields. And I don't think we're going to get them. So we're going to sacrifice the Escavalier. That's the first thing we're going to do. And we're going to see if somehow this lines us up in a way. Oh, they actually undercharged. That's a smart play from them. Although it does mean we get a drill runoff. It's just going to depend on if these Incinerates here are what they needed. We're not quite at the charge move we need. That goes down, and if they have it here, which I think they do. Yep, 1 short. So we did what we could. They made a smart play to undercharge there. Although I don't know that it's matter with the health we have. We're probably getting toasted. But unfortunately, we sort of lost a neutral matchup, and then switch advantage would have been helpful there, but I don't think it would have changed the way that game played out. Unfortunately, playing behind a shield that Typhlosion is very good against our back to. Nothing we can do about that. So Typhlosion, very good against that team. That team really does not want to see fire types at all. So let's take a second team in. We're going to run our own Snorlax this time with Lapras and a Shadow Swampert, and let's see what we can find. We didn't see a lot of the main Ultra League players in that matchup, and that team was sort of hunting those. We definitely wanted to see a Tina or something like that there, so let's see what our next opponent has for us. So we've got a Lapras into a Swampert. That is a great opening matchup for us. That's kind of what you're looking for with Lapras. Obviously, yeah, you're also looking for Tinas and stuff, but Swampert is just kind of toothless. And that's a very, very fast charge move, which indicates to me that this is a Hydro Cannon, which you're just never shielding. Swampert's best matchups and best sort of things it can do against your Lapras are all going to be Earthquakes and the such. So we don't want to do that. Now, we're going to go ahead and just go into our own Swampert here. We have a Shadow, so we'll be able to put on quite a lot of damage here. Yeah, I mean, the Snorlax safe swap is good against this team. We can't really blow it out. So we're just going to have to live with the fact that we're a little bit faster here. The lick damage is going to start adding up, which is something we have to keep an eye on. Since we are Shadow, we definitely are a little bit... Oh, okay, good. I was like, that little lag spike there, if they get a body slam in, that's going to be pretty bad. I definitely want to force them to use a shield here if they want to keep this matchup going, which they do. We're going to match that shield. We're faster to our charge moves, and they're not going to kill us with licks from here. And if they put us in a spot at this point where, say they shield again to, oh, that's a good duck. To be fair, that's a pretty good duck out for them. That said, it's not like this is, you know, a nothing move. So we'll go back to our Lapras. I'm pretty happy with this. They might have another Lapras counter. It's distinctly possible. But the Swampert's always dangerous, and it's nice to get it eliminated. And if they're baiting us into play, okay, they shielded there. That's fine. See, now they're at least pretending to go to Earthquake. They're at least putting that level of effort in. I'm gonna go ahead and shield this. There is that Earthquake that we sort of anticipated. The problem here is that as much as I would really like to farm them, I am a little nervous about them getting to Earthquake, and rather than make this interesting, I'd rather put the pressure on them to actually figure out how to kill this Lapras with all this health. We'll sneak in a couple extra moves there. Sure, the Snorlax could try and superpower us. And they've got a Registeel in the back. Okay. That is pretty good against us. Most of its charge moves will take us down from here. We do have the Snorlax with superpower, and we still also have the Swampert around to switch out. So what we'll probably do is look for an opportunity to superpower this. So there's the Focus Blast. That's gonna take us down. We're gonna bring in our own Lax. They're gonna switch into theirs, and if they superpower me right here, that's gonna be pretty unfortunate, but I think we're gonna be okay still. There's their superpower. All right, that definitely collapsed, but puts us in a spot now where I actually can farm down with Lick, which is not usually the thing you do. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna superpower right off and then quickly switch, force them to actually do something to the Swampert. They're gonna have to kill us pretty much right off, and they're not gonna win that race. So this will be GG's. The team gets it done. We see our first Registeel of the day, and yeah, sort of another sort of big, heavy, neutral slugfest, but team gets the job done. Shadow Swampert plays well, and we don't sort of give up on that strong lead. Lapras was really good against their team. Even Registeel doesn't really want to be fighting Lapras, so it worked out for us. All right, let's take a look at our other options. So let's see, that was that team there. So we're gonna run another. This is my oldest team. This is the team that I played very first when I started playing Ultra League when it first came out in GBL. So we're gonna give it a whirl and see. I do like Poliwrath a lot as a fighter that has the strongest of the available Swampert matchups. It has Ice Punch for various other awkward matchups like Tina. It doesn't beat Tina, but it can definitely close out a Tina or force a shield on one, which is a fairly common line of play if you see it in the lead, is to try and force shields. And it's not like Tina puts a ton of pressure on you. So let's see what you've got. So we've got Poliwrath and a Tina. So I'm glad I talked about that. So what's our game plan here? Our game plan to an extent is to see if we can get them to shield an Ice Punch. Early on in Ultra League, people tend to overestimate what Ice Punch does. This opponent not going to do that, and that's fine. But we are going to stay in for a little bit and do that. I am going to switch to our Articuno here after the second Ice Punch, primarily because if it baits in the Steel type, so be it. We lose our Articuno, but we'll at least be able to line our Poliwrath up against their Steel type. So they're not inclined to shield any of this. We're going to try and catch a Dragon Claw here, which is great. It means they'll come out with no energy. And they're kind of in Ice Punch range now, right? They're close enough where we can find a way to kill that. So I'm hoping not to get blown out on the switch. Unfortunately, Lapras is one of those blowout matchups where we just really struggle. So what I'm going to do here, at least initially, is I'm going to fish for an Ancient Power boost. This does a little more damage, obviously, as well, because it is super effective. But you're pretty much Dobbs in this matchup. There's not a lot you can do. And we'll throw the 1 Ancient Power. We didn't get the boost. I think there's some win conditions where you can get a boost and go from there, but what we'll do now, because we're gonna get farmed here, is actually just Icy Wind them. I want to make the matchup with our Poliwrath even more comfortable, and the best way to do that is this. The moves already don't hit very hard, and we know they're on Ice Beam because they threw it, so I'm not worried about getting, say, Skull Bashed. What I have to look out for here is a switch, because if I throw a Dynamic Punch into their Tina, which I think is a real possibility, I think we lose. So I'm gonna be a little bit conservative about. There we go. So there's the Cress. As you can see, I was like, I think they're gonna try and time a switch. I feel comfortable that that's the plan for them. And this matchup's pretty long, but what we need to do here, obviously, we need to make sure we line our stuff up, because that Lapras is coming back in here. So it's just a matter, like, I do kind of want to protect this, but I sort of know the fast move pressure that's coming. So I didn't want to shield that first one just because I don't want to give them shield advantage. But we're probably going to start shielding. Those Moonblasts are pretty effective, and I'm probably going to be shielding the remainder of those, especially if they're willing to give me shields as well. Them giving me shields is actually pretty good because it's going to open some doors for, say, Poliwrath to run the table, as opposed to sort of what I was worried about, which was getting into a spot where see, that's a good duck. Don't get me wrong, that's a good duck. They are looking to get our Poliwrath back in, and they do get to eat this move, which is good. So, oh, and they get this off. Yeah, that's strong. Okay, we're gonna protect this. And I want to get some energy here. Okay. I want to make sure that we at least have that energy. I'm going to try and KO them with an Ice Punch. This might be a little too ambitious, but I really kind of need... Yeah, a little too ambitious. So Muck is going to have to carry. Ice Beam is not going to KO. And then we throw Ice Punches. They still have a shield, which is a little obnoxious. That's the part I don't like. So Tina comes in. They already threw their Dragon Claw, so they know they don't have very much energy. And this is probably a scenario where they... Yeah, they're just planning to eat that. And we need, at this point... We need 2 charge moves. If we can get 2 charge moves... I mean, the timer's about to run out too. And I actually think their Crest has more HP than us. Oh, no, they have a charge move. Okay, well played by our opponent. GG's. Little bit of an awkward setup for us, and we get a timer run out as they secure the win. So, certainly interesting. Obviously a bad lead for us, and we couldn't quite play out of it. That Lapras Articuno matchup's pretty bad, and that's the danger with that team. So we're gonna switch things up. We're gonna bring our own Registeel and some bulk. I expect this game to go to time as well, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what we can do. I didn't bother to best buddy the Reggie, so if we lose just narrowly, if I'm fuming at the end of this fight, then you know who to blame. You know who to blame. If I'm just fuming, if I'm like, oh, one more lock on, that best buddy might have mattered, but hey, it is what it is. All right, so we got a Registeel lead and a Talonflame, so that is pretty rough for this team in general. We're gonna go ahead and go to Armored Mewtwo. And okay, so they've got the Muck in play, and that's obviously a pretty strong counter to what we're doing. But we did get the Muck in play now, which is good for us because it is a Tina counter. And at this point, we may very well be setting up on the off chance that we can, that we can beat them with that. I'm hoping to get a shield out of them. Our Mewtwo knows Earthquake. So, they did not respect the Earthquake. That's fine. We'll throw the slightly cheaper charge move here. If they just no shield their way through this, then, you know, more power to them. Like, those are some relatively strong no shields. Oh, but they had to, there we go. Okay, we got them to burn the energy at least. So we are in kind of a tricky spot. We kind of need to hope that that Tina is just very good against what they're doing. I don't intend to shield here. I just intend to farm this thing. As aggressive as that is, my whole purpose here is to farm it. What I'm worried about now is like what the sequence is going to go. I switch out. They probably throw a Brave Bird at my Tina and then switch, and it's going to cost me a shield because I'm going to have to shield that Brave Bird. And if they do flame charge my Tina, then everything's terrible. But at this point, I have all the energy I need. We're just trying to set up a scenario where we can maybe close. Okay, they've got an Obstagoon. Okay, well, that's not great. I do wish I was on Dragon Breath, as that would give me a cleaner win condition here. Just the fact that the Shadow Claws do functionally nothing is a pretty big bummer. I am going to take the first Night Slash because if they do get boosts, it's better to just not shield the first one. But Obstagoon in the back is it's a really strong core breaker for what we're doing. We can one-shot an Obstagoon with that Focus Blast that our Reggie has, but it's gonna require them to shield, and I don't think they're going to. Like, we don't put enough damage on them in any way right here to actually cause them to shield. So I'm a little bit nervous that that they're just not a scenario for us here. And if I do go to Reggie, what I'm worried about is just getting farmed and then getting unloaded, just having Night Slashes totally unloaded on us. So I'm still gonna do it because if I can get a shield here, I feel pretty good about that. And this Reggie is not gonna do terribly much otherwise, so we do get a shield out of him. That's pretty good. I think they're gonna flame charge us here, but at least we get a charge move off. I don't think we're gonna see a shield here, but like I don't necessarily think we're gonna get a win here, especially because they're gonna farm us. Okay, no, they didn't. Flame charge makes sense. I don't think there's a win condition. That Obstagoon, I kind of needed them to also like make a mistake and throw the say a charge move into us. How do we win from here? We hope this is a flame charge. There's no reason to shield this. It is, so we at least take a little less damage from it. Oh, I timed that poorly, but I don't expect they'll shield. I fully expect their plan is just Obstagoon now. Also inconvenient. Oh, that's pretty bad. So remember that ill-timed charge move? That's the game. I threw that too early, and it spotted them, that whole thing. Now, we were going to lose that anyway, I think, but it doesn't help that we sort of misplayed. A little rusty, like I said. Didn't play yesterday. I haven't played since. That would have been last Thursday maybe, or Wednesday, so it's been almost a whole week. All right, well, let's try and salvage the set with one more team. We're gonna try our own Obstagoon. It's been funny, we've been seeing some of the same stuff, so let's give it a whirl. I don't know that any of these teams are excellent, but hopefully one of them will inspire you to build something that works for you. And we'll be playing with a bunch more on stream today, so come check us out. All the info's down below. I'd love to see you while we're live today. All right, Goon, Cress. Okay. Bit of an awkward matchup for us. because of Moonblast. So our best scenarios here all involve boosts. We can get a Night Slash boost. This matchup gets way better for us, as so many matchups do. Because the Moonblast, like, I'm not going to shield the first Moonblast because I don't want to give them the opportunity to sort of play from shield advantage, and it doesn't kill us. And we're more or less ignoring the Psycho Cuts. But at the same time, you know, they can certainly put pressure on our shields before we can put pressure on theirs, or it's very close to. So, hey, there's our boost. Okay, now things are starting to feel a little bit better. So we're sort of inclined now to protect this. I also would like to win switch advantage. So that's a Grass Knot. That's an early move for them. We can certainly play to a scenario here where okay, so they're shielding as well, so they're protected, and we got a second boost. Wow. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. I'm overcommitting here. I know I'm overcommitting here, but at the same time, 2 Night Slash boosts is pretty significant against most of the field. And, you know, if we lose this fight, so be it. But I actually think we are inclined to win it, just because we're slightly faster to the charge moves. They could have probably thrown a Grass Knot at us. I don't know, it would have killed us. And let's see if we can make something happen with... Oh, yeah, that's perfect for us. Because on one hand, we don't do a lot of counter damage. Oh, they went Umbreon. Okay, well, Umbreon is also fine for us. We have other Tina options. I mean, they do eat that, but these counter damages are very, very, very good. And we're going to get to this cross chop before they get to a last resort. So this is the stupid reason why Obstagoon is what it is. Obviously, also very good against their entire team. Right? Like, this Obstagoon is actually just a house against them. And as you can see, they're gonna go ahead and call it a day. Well, that's a fitting way for our set to go. We had one game go to time. We had one game with a double boosted Obstagoon in the lead, result in functionally a concession. So, hey, Ultra League is back, friends. I hope you enjoyed these battles. I hope I'll see some of you live on Twitch. And if you haven't done so before, leave a like, a comment, hit the subscribe button on the channel. It helps us grow this channel significantly. I do really appreciate those who do that every day. And I will see you all next time. Cheers, friends.